I'm Dr. Marty Becker, and this is For the Love of Animals.
Something about you I find it's most appealing. You're the best friend in the world. Best friend in the world. Best friend in the world.
A lot of times they just get too hot on a day like this and people won't stop. If the dog ever goes for the shade, if it ever lays down in a frog-legged position, if it ever lags behind, is breathing too fast or hypersalivating, it's time to take a break. You know, nobody trains and runs a New York Marathon in 1 week, and neither can a dog. Good boy. Well, she's a beautiful cat, but when I'm feeling her ribs right here, there should be just a very light layer of fat on her ribs, and there's just a little bit too much fat. When you're looking at this cat from profile, you should see a little bit more of a tucked abdomen. It's a little bit pendulous here, and there's these folds here that are basically fat rolls, for the lack of something better. I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sure you brush your teeth at least once a day, right? Most of us do. Twice a day is what we're supposed to do. One of the things that's really surprising to people is that if you brush your pet's teeth and have good oral health, they'll live 15% longer, and that's an average of 2 years.
Most people have a connection to animals. They have companion animals. They had a dog when they were a kid, or a cat, or they have a bird, or like fish, or like something. All animals deserve to be taken care of. It's our responsibility. It's what we're here for.
My animals are part of my family, and I consider them among my closest friends, and would do anything for them.
We have 2 cats that live with us, and they're like our children. I mean, we take care of them, and they look after us in other ways.
I think it rounds out a human being's experience to have an animal in their life. If it makes them take themselves less seriously, it teaches them responsibility, it teaches them commitment.
It's like being a guardian of a child. I think the best parents just feel that their job in life is to nurture this wonderful little being that's been entrusted to them.
I had animals my whole life. Growing up, we always had dogs, we always had cats, and we were taking in strays, and they were always a part of the family. As a little kid, I always wanted to be a vet, and I thought maybe all little kids loved animals, but I think I had a particularly elevated sense of connection to them. Marley really does think I am her mother, which is fine by me. I really don't think I could be more attached to her if I had actually birthed her. I couldn't have adopted my son before I had her. I love the fact that my son is growing up with Marley licking his face and knocking him over and playing with his toys, and that's how I grew up. I feel like I've had conversations with her. This is from me and my doctor, actually.
I was in New Orleans doing search and rescue following Katrina and Rita. I saw things that I never thought that I would ever see. We were doing search and rescue in the area closer to Superdome. We were unable to get access to earlier because the flooding was so bad. And while we were in this particular area, I heard cries coming from underneath the house. So it was a plastic garbage bag that was moving. And when I pulled it out, there was a 2-day-old puppy inside. He was alone. His eyes and ears were closed. He probably hadn't eaten in 24 hours. I went to 4 shelters, and all 4 said he needed too much care, so he would be euthanized. Somebody I knew introduced me to a woman and said she would drive Hope so far, and I could meet her in Pennsylvania. So I handed Hope off to her. She drove him to Pennsylvania. I flew from New Orleans to Rhode Island, got in the car and drove from Rhode Island to Pennsylvania and picked him up. My intention was to find him a good home. But the longer I kept him, the more I realized that I wasn't giving him up. I love this dog.
My best friend, love, that's what we're feeling. 'Cause there's something about you I find it's most appealing.
I'm Dr. Marty Becker. We'll see you next week for The Love of Animals.